Hello. As you can see, I am freshly washed after a very long day at work. And I would be remiss not to talk about this while it's on my mind. I heard a song today. Let's see if I can't find it. It's called Faith. I added it to my likes by, I don't know how to pronounce this, Nurko. Nurko. And basically, in the song, a female vocalist is saying how she messed up, how she lied, and did things that she shouldn't have, and is asking if the person she's talking to still has faith in her. You know, it made me really feel about my own trust issues, because they're pretty high. My trust issues are not something that will probably ever really go away. So I thought I would take a couple minutes, or until at least it's off my mind, to talk about my trust issues. You know, as someone who has gone through the things that I have gone through in my life, trusting others has been really hard, difficult, beyond compare. Probably one of the most difficult thing that I've done ever, sadly. Um, and I got to a point where um, I learned that different people could be trusted differently. Um, I don't know how to word the things that I'm trying to say. Sometimes talking about these things off the cuff without any sort of guidance other than one stream of thought makes it difficult. But so growing up, I learned at a very, very young age not to trust anyone. Family, friends, people in general, just because of actions. I saw I have dealt with a lot of people doing me horribly wrong, and then saying things like, no, I love you, or I didn't mean to do that, or other ways to try to not accept blame for their own problem. Um, all throughout my life. And it kind of really culminated, kind of really all came together once I finally started to get into relationships. You see, I never fully had a healthy relationship. Until I was, oof, 20, 21. I mean, I'm trying to build confidence as much as I can lately, but it's taken me almost 40 years to get to a point to where I can safely say, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm awesome. I'm great. I'm kind. I'm loving. I do all sorts of other things that make me awesome. But until that happened, I never thought for a moment I was. And how do I put it? When I finally got to, a healthy relationship, she ended up being my ex-wife. But my trust issues were always there. Always. And it's not entirely her fault at the beginning. It really wasn't. Specifically at the beginning. But as time and things started happening between our relationship, my trust issues went even higher. And higher. And I couldn't trust anything she said or did. I was always wondering within the back of my mind if what she was saying was true or not. For the longest time, I didn't even think that my daughters were mine. Because of her actions and her words, they never really went together. I was never really appreciated for all the things that I did. And I mean, if you ask her, it was my fault. I never did anything worthy of being appreciated. And, I guess that's her idea. Because I did a hell of a lot. I really did. Until the end, where I was just so broken by everything. By her, by work, by life, by my own self. I was broken. But when she left the first time, after lying to me and doing what she's done and everything else, when she came back, I my trust issues were even higher. I asked for specific things that I needed from her to quell those trust issues when she came back, and she wouldn't do it, or couldn't do it, or just didn't care to do it, which resulted in her leaving again, and on her account because of my trust issues. But of course, my trust issues basically told me that I was right. And they never really went away even after that. I made it a point to start telling people specifically that I have trust issues right off the bat. Like, hey, look, I can trust you with lots of stuff, but I can't trust you with telling me the truth, being honest with me, staying with me, things like that. Like, I would need proof. I would need actions. And that made a lot of people, maybe not even a lot of people, but the people I wanted most in my life get upset. I know it upset Love a lot when I asked her for proof because I couldn't trust her. And I mean, and we see what happened. I wanted to trust her, but I couldn't. And then it turned out that I couldn't. And then I wanted to trust her again. But it ended up that I couldn't. And I want to trust her even now. But do I have faith? But I mean, it's not just her. Anyone that I decide to be in a relationship with at all, I have to come to terms with my own trust issues. I have to come to terms with, do they want me? Am I, like, I know I'm awesome, obviously, but how long is that going to last before they don't want to be with me again? Can I trust them just to be with me? Or are they always looking for an outside? I do a lot for the people that I love. And one thing I've noticed is that even when I do a lot and I show a lot, I'm still brought up to be the bad guy in every single situation for just having trust issues. And I never understood that. Like they say about cops and police right now. Like, hey, if you don't do anything wrong, then you won't get in trouble by the police. It should be the same with my trust issues, right? If you don't do anything wrong, I should be able to trust you, right? I have to admit, I think with my ex-wife, the first time that my trust issues really kind of hit me was when we found out that we were expecting Scarlett. When she was expecting her first child, she went down and got all the blood work done and got all the tests done, and then found out that she had an STD and that she gave it to me. And her response when we were talking about it was, yeah, I think I know where I got that from. That asshole. And that's how it ended. And I never really got full clarification on any of it. And then I had to experience one of the most embarrassing things I've ever had to experience in my entire life. But it was a mild one. It wasn't one that lasts. It was just, chlamydia, if you're old enough to know what that is. Hopefully you are old enough if you're watching my stuff. But it stuck with me after that. I didn't feel like I could trust anything that she told me. Because she never brought it up before, and she never brought it up again after. I mean, there's no doubt now that my oldest is mine, obviously. But for the longest time, I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, a part of me always wanted to take like a paternity test for both my kids, just because of my trust issues are so bad. But the problem with that is that if I decide to give in to my trust issues, then it's like, I'm also the bad guy because of that, because I assume the worst. Do I love them any less? Absolutely not. They're my kids, but that's where my trust issue started with my ex-wife. And they always escalated to where now I need proof. I need to know that you're going to stay. I need to know that you love me. I don't ask for much. I really don't. But do I have faith? Everybody deserves to be trusted as long as they're willing to as long as they are willing to do their best. I bring up forgiveness a lot. Because I do forgive a lot more people than I forgive myself. But I'll probably always have my trust issues. It's always that lingering doubt that I have of people who tell me one thing, but then all their actions are the exact opposite. And even when I get better, even when I know my benefits, I know my worth, I know what I bring to the table, and I bring it every single time, I don't think those trust issues will really go away. Until someone shows me that I shouldn't have any worries. Maybe next time I'll tell you about the reason why I started to have trust issues to begin with. When I was a child. There are lots of things hidden in my life that nobody wants to know about. As I told my therapist the other day, there are still so many traumas in my past that we have nowhere near covered, because the only thing I'm focusing on now is the one that I love. And the broken heart. Slowly being cauterized. Thank you for listening. I know it's been long. Until next time, be kind to everybody. They deserve it, and so do you.